Yeah,
No?
I think it's about right because I think these are the honest people, but I think there's still individuals that are holding on. Like they saw a win, like they didn't see that the Lions scored 7 points in the first half. They didn't see the mistakes and the misses. They didn't see that Amon-Ra St.Brown for some reason continues to drop passes. They didn't see that Jameson Williams for some reason cannot get involved in the game. They didn't see those things. What they saw was a resilient team that has a great running back that won in overtime and put themselves one step closer to winning the division. And the key to the game is to get into the dance. So
You've played hurt before, plenty.
yeah,
You think Amon-Ra St. Brown's hurt? There is speculation that he has an injured wrist. Do you believe he's hurt?
could be. I mean, it could be from the standpoint this isn't typical for Amon-Ra St. Brown. We haven't seen that throughout his career so far. So maybe, but maybe it's not. What does that come from? Out of curiosity, that was like speculation going around a little bit.
Yeah, there's been some speculation, and as a matter of fact, I think it was even mentioned during the radio broadcast, and I think people have shown a couple of plays earlier this year in which he may have sustained an injury.
Yeah.
May have sustained an injury. I think that's important to make sure we're stressing that because we don't know.
But this is the thing, though, too, and I appreciate people for saying that because he's strong. We know Amon-Ra St. Brown's not complaining about things. We understand his past. We understand who his father is, Mr. Universe twice over. So we understand he's tough as nails, and he's not going to complain. The problem with that is we live in an era where, like, they have to report everything. Like, everything. I don't care if you just get something iced and you didn't even need it. It goes into the report. The report comes out. Like, is there a report of him hurting his wrist? Because in the NFL, if there's not, then that's negligent. And the last time I've seen this happen was the back and forth situation with AB and Tampa.
Yeah.
And although AB was right, you can't typically believe him, so that's why people didn't listen. But it's 2025. Like I'm talking about, if you have a hangnail, Shep, they're putting a hangnail on the report, and you will see it scroll across the line. So if that hasn't happened, then I would venture to say this could be someone trying to provide some support to Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Could be.
Because he could just be struggling.
I'm unaware of it.
Because CeeDee Lamb is All-Pro, and he is struggling like I don't know what. But it's that pressure.
Yeah.
It's the pressure of number 3 becoming the number 1.
Yeah. Pickens is so much. I mean, he's had a really good year, and he's overshadowed CeeDee Lamb by far.
That's why I said number 3.
I know.
Becoming number
1. Right.
But yeah,
I like that.
I got to see the reports on that. I got to see the reports.
Yeah, I'm unaware of anything that I've seen from any type of injury report, but I'm not going to claim to know every single week what the Lions have reported and who's been hurt. Okay, so I don't want to go that far, but it is unlike him. We haven't seen this before from him. That said, he still has done something that I believe during the broadcast they said only Michael Thomas has done, and that is get to 500 receiving yards faster. He did it in 77 career games, and Thomas did it in a few, not quite as many. So that tells you something, right? I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown, this is not a knock on Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's been a hell of a player so far, and he'll continue to be so. With that said, do you think it's a lack of trust from Jared Goff in trying to find a guy like Tesla or Jameson Williams? Because of the stat that I gave earlier in the show is a real stat. How come they are not getting the ball more to those two guys, or at least looking at those two guys? There were just three targets for Jameson Williams, I believe.
I think early on in the season they thought that they would find some continuity and they would find a rhythm and a flow. They knew that they would start off the season with Laporta and Gibbs and the running game, Amon-Ra St. Brown getting that thing going, develop throwing him down the field passes. He would be the big play guy. He's the play action pass, get him down the field and start getting him implemented that way. They never got the run going early in the year, so they never were able to get him going. They weren't able to get the play action going. They weren't able to get him in some kind of rhythm for Johnny Morton's offense. It never happened. And they've been trying to find this rhythm with him. And now it's a situation, this is just my belief, your offensive line hasn't been that good in terms of the last 5 games in totality. Yesterday, much better than it's been. Still gave up 4 sacks. Still had Jared Goff kind of patting the ball a little bit. J-Mo's a down-the-field guy. His plays take time to develop. Whether he's going on a bang 8, whether he's going on a big post, whether he's going on a go route, a 9 route, his plays take a second to develop, and the offensive line hasn't shown the consistency to develop. Even if it's a 15-yard dig, Like
but against Philly, it was that quick slant. I thought they would be able to incorporate him a little bit more with some of those shallow crossing routes and quick slants.
Right.
Now, a lot of that could be defensively, how a team is defending it, and they may think the exact same thing that you're thinking. But I know against Philly he did that, and even the catch that was called back yesterday was a quick hitter.
Yeah, the touchdown that he had against Philly, that was an inside breaking route. It was a 10-yard in. He basically got the 10 yards, stuck it, came across Jared Goff's face. He put it on, and he ran out the back door. Mm-hmm. They allowed for a little bit of time. There wasn't much more time than that. Yeah. There wasn't much more time than that, and they haven't consistently dialed into that. So I think the offensive line play, it's like I said, it's the start of the year, trying to get him involved with the play action, no run, so can't get him involved. They never figured that out. Now Johnny Morton comes out and says, I failed Jameson Williams, insert Dan Campbell. He's had a couple passes, but still, it's the same thing. They never got him going. They never understood what his role was. He still hasn't figured out what his role was, and now every once in a while, you get a play like the Eagles game.
Yeah. So what's the adjustment they need to make as a staff to get him more involved, understanding their insecurities and understanding their weaknesses probably a little bit better now than they did earlier in the season?
Try to get the ball in his hands faster. Like, he still runs 4.2. Like, that never went anywhere. Yeah. Like, your offense may be able to figure it out, but he still runs 4.2. Get the ball in his hands faster. Give him some wide receiver screens. Get some guys out there, you know what I'm saying, on wide receiver screens, little zero screens. He could come in. He can wiggle with the ball because that's what he does. Get him on some slants like you said. Get him on some shallow crosses. Get him on some quick sluggo plays, like a slant and go, like a quick, boom, there he is, and quick and throw it to him. Like, find ways to get him the ball, but let him know that he's a part of the offense because he gave you the whole coach speak 3 weeks ago when Johnny Moore said, well, I failed him, and J-Mo said, man, I don't got time for that. Let's just win. He wants to win, but there's no rhythm. There is no flow in J-Mo's game right now. Hell, there's no flow in Amon-Ra St.Brown's game.
I don't think there's much flow in the offensive game.
So it's tough to focus on that, but I think with the explosion of Jahmyr Gibbs, like the last two games have just been amazing. Yeah. Because he did that on the Philadelphia Eagles defense in Philly in the winter, the whole 9 yards. He did that, and then he came back. And he does this 200 to the tune of 216 plus. So now that you got him rocking and rolling like that, now the teams really have to overly be nervous. Like, you always knew that Jahmyr was a good back. You always knew that Jahmyr had the potential. But now it's getting into a different one. Like when they play Jonathan Taylor, they're putting 9 in the box.
Yes.
Now you get 9 in the box.
More people are recognizing. More people are talking. We've talked the last couple of weeks about Jack Campbell, how he's getting more national recognition. And people are starting to, kind of gravitate toward that. Not that people didn't know how good Jahmyr Gibbs was before this, because he's well established. But the last 2 weeks have opened eyes where you're like, holy crap, this dude is as good as anybody else in the National Football League. You would think, though, Braylon, that would help this offense, especially in the play-action game, and it doesn't seem like it's making that much of an effect. Or am I wrong there?
I don't know if they're trying. Like, I don't know if they're dropping back and doing play action. Like, I don't know if they're really taking those chances. I don't know if they're taking those opportunities. Like, and that's what I haven't seen in this game plan yet. I haven't seen them actually, here it is, and try to get it downfield on a consistent basis. So I don't know, but that's what I haven't seen. I definitely haven't seen it. Jahmyr, though, hey, remember when he first got here? Remember how fast he was to his spot? Like, that was the big thing with Jahmyr, is he was legitimately so fast that he wasn't allowing his offensive line to get the blocks. He wasn't allowing the plays to set up. That's where he's gotten better this year. That's where he's finally taken that last step. One, he's a very sneaky runner between the tackles. Like, he's stronger than you think. Yeah. He's much stronger than you think. Two, nobody has a stop and start like him. There are there's some decent, good running backs in this league, but they don't have that last part. Like, Kyron Williams is a really good running back, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he can't do that.
No.
He can't do getting the whole boom, boom, set you up, and now turn it off and turn it back on. Like, where'd he go? Like,
there's not many guys who could do what he did yesterday. I agree with you 100%.
I don't think anybody except Jonathan Taylor.
The one thing that you did say, I think last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago in Braylon's breakdown, the blocking has been less than impressive lately than what it was earlier in the year.
But the funny thing is, the best, not the best, because Panay is the best, and I think we give him that title because he is that, but Taylor Decker's had the best year on that offensive line.
Do you think so?
Man, when you look at the tape, it's been better than the others.
Wow. That's a little surprising. There's a lot of people who want to get involved in the chat, and we love that, okay? So it's great that you're smashing that like button. It's great that you're involved in the chat. This is something that whether they win or lose is not going away. And you and I talked about this at the trade deadline, and we said this is going to be, until they win a championship, this is going to be the cross that Brad Holmes is going to have to bear with Lions fans. And that is, what are you doing to improve your team and make them better right away?
Yeah.
So somebody had put in the chat, I am tired of seeing Brad wasting picks on developmental players when they need players to contribute right now. I don't know who he's referring to, he or she is referring to there. But I had this debate with my brother-in-law last night when he said, you know what? I'm frustrated because they needed offensive linemen and he didn't draft one. He drafted one who's injured. And I said, well, hold on a second. Miles Frazier wasn't injured when they drafted him. He started 50 games at LSU.
Yeah.
He was pretty damn good, too.
Yeah.
But what he did do is get injured. There's a big difference between drafting an injured Kool-Aid and drafting Kool-Aid who then gets injured, right? There's a huge difference.
Big difference.
And then my other question to him was this. At what round are you okay with drafting developmental players?